Let's today talk about how we can add a user to PostMaster and configure the group and user properties for that user. To begin with, let's log in into PostMaster as an admin. Once you have logged in, go to PostMaster, Manage Accounts, Users, User Manager. Once you are on this page, click on the option Add New to create and add a new user to your PostMaster. When you click on it, a different browser opens up containing all these fields. You need to fill up these fields values to add the new user to your PostMaster. So let's begin creating a new user. Here, type a unique login name for the user. Put the real name. Furnish the password and re-enter the password. If you enable this option, this would allow the user to reset the password on the very first login into PostMaster webmail. Under authentication type reporting officer, put the email ID of the reporting officer the user is reporting to. If you enable this option, then the user won't be able to log in into PostMaster webmail. Mail delivery disabled. If you enable this option, then delivery of mails to the user will be disabled. Next comes user rights. If you want to give rights to the user, depending whether you want to give the admin rights or only the user rights, you can select it from here. Next, PME mail user. If you enable this option, that is, you are giving the emailing rights to the PostMaster user that is you are just creating. PME mail group. From the drop down, you just select the group and bind this user with that group. Select PME calendar user if you want to give the calendar rights to this user. From here, under PME calendar group, you can select the group and bind this user to the calendar group. Next option that you have is accounts admin permission. If you select the option read and write, that is, you are allowing the user to add or delete any other user in PostMaster only. Archive permission, you can give read or read write rights to the user to perform the archiving permission on any other user in PostMaster. Similarly, for mailing list permission, you can select the options and give the right to the user. Once you have set all these field details, you can click on confirm to save it. As you can see that the user has been added successfully. Now we will configure the group properties for this user. To configure the group properties, go to PME mail and select group. Under group, the first field is priority. Select a priority type, that is either low, normal and high for the user from this list. Set the quota for the user, that is, specify the default mailbox size when the user is able to receive the mails as per the quota that you have set over here. Then you have alert user. If you enable this option, then the user will receive a warning message when 80% of the mailbox quota that has been assigned to the user has been reached to its ultimate level. Next, by default, send local mails is enabled, that is, it is making the user to send emails locally. You can set the maximum size of the local mails that the user can send from here. Then you have send remote mails. If you enable this option, then the user will be able to send the mails out from your PostMaster. Remote send maximum size, you can set the quota here and allow the maximum mail size that the user can send remote mails. Receive mails, if this option is enabled, then the user will be able to receive mails. You can set the maximum size of the mail that the user can receive. Then you have max mails per minute. Say for example, if I have set 5, that means the user will be able to receive only 5 mails per minute. Max mails per day, I have set 10, that is 10 mails per day the user will only be able to receive. Next, you have SMTP enabled, that is to give the user the SMTP service. Similarly, if this option is enabled, the user will be able to avail the POP3 services. Next, you have date restricted mailbox access. If you enable this option, then the user will be able to access his or her mailbox, that is either POP3, IMAP or webmail, only between the dates that you have specified. Similarly, for time restricted mailbox access, the user will be able only to access his or her mailbox, that is either POP3, IMAP or webmail, only between the specified times that you have mentioned. Then, if you enable this option, archive mails, then the user will be able to archive mails per user. Next is IP address HTTP or IP based mailbox access. If you enable this option, then the user will only be able to open the PostMaster webmail as per the IP address that you have stated. So you just put the IP address here, click on add, and the IP address will get added here. Then the user will only be able to open the PostMaster webmail with the IP address that you have specified. Same thing is applicable for your MAC based mailbox access. If you enable this option, you put the MAC address over here, click on add, and the MAC address will get added here. Then the user will be able to access the PostMaster from this MAC address that you have provided. Once you have done all the settings, you can click on confirm and save the group properties. Here group settings have been set successfully. Click on OK, and let's go to configure the user properties. So let us scroll up and select the user properties. Now here you have the first option as mobile user. Now if you enable the mobile user property here, this ensures that the internal mails which the PostMaster mail would normally deliver locally are delivered to the user's internet mailbox. This ensures that a traveling or a mobile user can access the internal mails. Mind that enable this only option if you think that the user has a separate POP3 mailbox at the ISP level. Then you have stop mail download. That is, if you enable this option, then downloading of local mails for the user will be stopped. IMAP, select this checkbox to enable the IMAP service for the user. Hide user, if you enable this option, then the address book of this user won't be available to the other users. Webmail, by default the webmail is being tick marked, that is the PostMaster webmail is accessible to this user with this default email ID. Next you have empty trash on logout. Select this checkbox to empty trash every time the user logs out. Next you have Robo. If you enable this option, that is you are giving the permission of the user to use the Robo service, that is the combination of filter rules. Then you have the POP3 settings. If you enable this option, then the special UIDL for iPad that you have will get enabled for this user. Delete downloaded mails. Select the checkbox if the downloaded email should be deleted in case the connection breaks during download. Mark mails as read, that is select the checkbox if the downloaded mail should be marked as read during normal exit or connection failure. Download unread mails. Select this checkbox if only the unread mails should be downloaded during all the downloads. Next we have public folders. Let's state one example here. If you enable this option and select the folder, that is say inbox and spam, from login you select the username. what will happen is that this user, when log into its Postmaster webmail, this user would be able to see this new user's inbox and spam along with all its details. So let's uncheck it. And scroll down for the other options that we have. Anti-spam. The first option is spam in subject. Select the checkbox if you want the user's spam mails to be tagged as spam by inserting the text *spam* in the subject line of the mail. Spam mail in POP3. Select the checkbox if you want the user to receive all mails, no matter whether they are spam or non-spam. Delete spam mail and delete spam interval. If you have chosen not to receive the spam mails through POP3, then you could optionally delete the all spam mails by mentioning the spam interval. Next you have Autoresponse. Select this checkbox to enable sending a response to the email received. Then Smart Response. Select this checkbox to send the auto response only once to an email received. You can specify the date from and date till, that is, till what time this auto response will remain activated. Next you have the subject test, that is, enter the subject line text for auto response emails. In case this is left blank, the subject test for a reply mail will be that of a sent mail preceding with the word re. Here you can put the response text that will be there for your auto response. Once you have configured all these settings, you can click on confirm to save the user settings. Click on OK to save it. Hope it was clear enough for you to add a new user in Postmaster and configure the properties, that is the group or the user properties. If you have any queries regarding this, you can write to us at support@qlc.in. Thank you.